Music Worth Buying. My name's Robert Kinsler.
My name is TJR.
Now, we're after the holidays here, so what we thought we'd do is look back at some of our favorite, special editions, deluxe re-releases, reissues, special live albums that never came out, that are now available, maybe some undiscovered treasures that have never, just some great things we've been listening to.
Maybe something you want to spend your Christmas gift cards on. And so, shall you start the proceedings?
Yeah, why don't I start? It is an album I've talked about before, but I wanted to at least mention it briefly. This is Neil Young's Hitchhiker. This is an album, it was recorded in a day, as I recall. I think you recall it too. Back in August of 1976 or something. And these are the first recorded versions, as far as we know, of songs like Powderfinger and Pocahontas, some now legendary Neil Young originals that are widely, among his masterworks and stuff. Just a great collection, just beautifully packaged. Great picture of Neil Young from that time frame. And can't say enough great things about this, and I've been listening to it since I got it a couple months ago, and one of my favorite albums of the year.
I know that a lot of Neil Young fans have been just really thrilled with this album. It's kind of hard to believe, not to get too far off the track, but Neil Young, along with this, of course, he recorded this back in the 70s, but he's released 2 albums of original music this year in 2017 as well.
Yeah, amazing.
But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So my turn now.
Okay, your turn.
I want to talk about... this release came out earlier this year in 2017. This is from John Lee Hooker, and it is entitled Whiskey and Women. And it's a collection. It's been remastered. I think they did an excellent job of the remastering. Now, normally I don't get into these type of, these kind of compilation reissues. Some of these tracks I've already owned off of other collections, but I just thought they did a great job with this collection. I thought they did a great job of remastering it and really bringing out the fidelity in it. The collection does come with a really nice booklet with a really, really good essay about his work and about these recordings and about the history. And every once in a while, something like this will just once again remind me why I keep coming back to the blues as both just a music fan and as a musician. And, after a while you think, oh yeah, I know the blues, but then you rediscover it all over again. And this collection really helped me do that. So I wanted to just bring up this collection for y'all.
Great. And actually, your little just recalled me of an album I want to highlight. And now's a good time. That's Alvin Lee and Company. Now, Alvin Lee, probably most of you know, but he was the lead guitarist, lead singer of 10 Years After. And if you want to get a brief sampling of how great 10 Years After is, you watch the original movie Woodstock, and their performance of I'm Going Home is just, as far as I'm concerned, it's the best part of the movie. Just flat out amazing, his guitar work. But after he left 10 Years After, he didn't stop making music, not by a long shot. And he went out, and I want to say about maybe 74, 75, he got together a larger group, even with gospel singers and stuff, went out on a short tour. The show in New York, of which this album now is available, was recorded actually at the time they got a 16-track recorder. They made a very good recording of it. It was kind of lost, or they forgot about it. And then shortly before Alvin Lee died in 2013, I think, he began working on bringing this recording to the light of day. It has just come out this year, and it's a 2-disc set. I just love this collection. And what's amazing is, you still get the Alvin Lee, this fiery guitar player, just unbelievably fast, and his technique is flawless. But also there's jazz on here, there's soul on here, there's R&B, there's things that you wouldn't associate necessarily with what he did with 10 Years After, and he's doing that here, and he's doing it, because he's such a great artist. He does it in very convincing fashion. And just love this. And the name of the album is called Alvin Lee and Company Live at the Academy of Music, New York, 1975. And it is available, everywhere. So
excellent.
Pick that one up.
Okay. So I am going to bring up, this is kind of, I guess not really a reissue because they've never been issued before. Well, I guess they were issued when I think about it. At least not to the general public. I'm talking about the Beatles Christmas records. Every year, the Beatles would release a Christmas record to their fan club, their official fan club, and those members would receive this little flexi disc in the mail. And it was just Christmas greetings. It had music, it had singing, it had talk. I understand some guest stars appeared on some of them. I've never heard them all, but now they've been made available for the general public for the first time. And they've gone and actually, they're not released on Flexi, they're released on actual vinyl. And they're on 45 records here. And they released 7 of them from 1963 to 1969. And it's a box set here, and pardon me while I try to open it up here. It's a little tricky to get open here. Maybe I'll edit this part out. Who knows? Maybe I won't. But I did do an unboxing of this set, so I'm not going to get as into it as I did on the unboxing. You can check out that video on the channel. It comes with a nice booklet, and it comes with all of the actual records. And I haven't listened to all of them yet. I'm listening to them like one at a time, like one night at a time. And I'm, of course, digitizing them. But they've been released all on colored vinyl. I didn't get to show this the last time because I hadn't opened them yet. But they're all on colored vinyl.
That is very cool, TJ.
And yeah, I don't know, maybe in a year from now, who knows, maybe they'll release all of these on a single CD. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the blue one from 1964. But a little bit pricey, yes. But if you're a hardcore Beatles fan, I don't think you can pass it up.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Fab Four here. Come on, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And so far, what I've heard has been tremendously, tremendously enjoyable.
Yeah.
So there it is. The Beatles Christmas records.
Yeah. Those are a lot of fun. I've heard them over the years on the radio, you know, especially usually around the holidays, and they're just wonderful. I mean, the Beatles being themselves, you know. Yeah, and like you said, the musical bits are great, and the spoken words are funny and insightful. They get a little weird toward the end of the '60s, but hey, come on, it was the end of the '60s. It was the end of the '60s, yeah. So it's very cool. Yeah,
you can excuse that.
So now we're going to rewind back to the '50s, and here's Little Richard has been reissued as a deluxe edition 2-CD set. This is Little Richard's, I think, the first full-length album.
Oh, okay.
That was issued, and it includes all his probably best-known hits. I mean, we're talking Tutti Frutti, Ready Teddy, Slippin' and Slidin', Long Tall Sally. I mean, you get the idea. But it not only has the studio versions, and they sound fantastic. It has the various takes of the songs that were recorded at the same time.
Alternate takes.
Yeah, alternate takes. So I mean,
any demos included?
As I recall, I don't think there's any demos.
Alternate takes.
Alternate takes, yeah. And I mean, I'm looking here at disc 2. It has 22 tracks on it. These are not long songs, but they sound great. And you hear, and we've talked about this when we've done tributes to Fats Domino and some of the other artists that we've talked about. You know, with these early rock and rollers, I mean, there was a sense that this was groundbreaking. Nobody had done or been where these guys were going before, and it's explosive. And you go back. Oh yeah, that, you know, it was a more innocent time. This and that. These are just great. You know, performances. It
wasn't a more innocent time, in my opinion. But
he's pounding on the piano. He's screaming, and you can imagine how the adults were like, oh, you know, just freaking out. I mean, this is just some really savage rock and roll. Just great stuff, and you know, it's just great to hear it again. Like this,
can't wait to hear this myself because I'm a big fan of Little Richard. I'm a big fan of all the great legendary 50s rock and rollers. And I'm a fan of a lot of the more obscure ones too. But I would love to hear this, especially for these alternate takes. I mean, I probably know most of these songs, but I would love to hear all these alternate takes.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful package, and there's a, you know, it's just a neat picture and just very, very well done. And it's really nice that it's come out.
Awesome. Very cool. So, okay, let me pull out the big guns here now.
Okay. You might need help lifting these up.
I did an unboxing of this, and I also, of course, did a review of all of the contents. But since we're talking about reissues, I wanted to mention the Sgt Pepper 50th Anniversary box set. And of course, as we all know, Sgt Pepper, for the 50th anniversary, Giles Martin did a complete remix of the album. Not a remaster, a complete remix. It's never been remixed before. He did a fantastic job of it. And this set here, of course, contains that, but it also contains additional discs of mostly never before heard alternate takes, outtakes, you know, works in progress. It contains a Blu-ray and DVD where you can get a 5.1 surround sound mix with, you know, on Blu-ray or DVD. It contains also a wonderful documentary from the 90s that hasn't been seen in quite a while, fully remastered. It contains a hardcover book. It contains my kitchen sink. Yeah, there's just tons of stuff in this. This was a tremendously well put together package. I'm not going to open it up here; it's too much. But I did an unboxing video. You can check those videos out, and I did reviews. I actually had to break it up into 3 parts. There was so much in this.
Wow.
I couldn't review it in just one video. I think I did like about 3 different separate videos where I reviewed the individual contents of this package here and what was in it. And so check those out on the channel, of course. But this is still available. It's on Amazon. You can still get it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's an important purchase and a good purchase. Yeah.
I did not regret it one bit.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
Some things are worth the cost, and that's one of them. Yeah,
it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to do 2 things kind of at one time because there's a band I've talked about a few times. You know I'm a huge fan. They're called Big Star.
Yes.
Big Star is bigger now than they were in the 70s when they dissolved the first time. They did have a comeback a little bit. But the 2 seminal members were Chris Bell and Alex Chilton. Alex Chilton is maybe a little bit better known initially because he was the lead singer of, I think they were called the Box Tops. They had that big song in the late 60s when he was a teenager called The Letter.
Okay.
But these are 2, where they've gathered some various recordings from them individually that they did and put these together in these deluxe editions this year. And they kind of complete the picture for people that just want to get their hands on everything Big Star did because they just didn't do that much, you know. And so it's really nice, and it gives you a greater understanding of them, their musical influences, kind of what they were doing individually, and it's just really good collections.
These are all solo recordings.
These are solo recordings, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
I imagine it's hard to obtain these in their original forms, then.
Yeah. Well, I think some of the stuff is just unreleased. I think on one of them it was like they said, like a number of the tracks, either they were alternate tracks, I forgot offhand, but they were never even available. So they've put them together where you're getting everything in one place. You know, this one in particular, A Man Called Destruction. This is a pretty well-known album by Alex Chilton fans, and here this is just a great version. You know, so it's just nice to have these.
Excellent.
And
if you're a Big Star fan, then this is a real welcome
it helps put together your collection. You know, what I would tell people is first go get the Big Star albums.
Yes.
You know, and get familiar with those, and then you're going to get a deeper appreciation, I think, for these 2 albums. And this Chris Bell is called I Am Cosmos, and Alex Chilton is called A Man Called Destruction. And these are both, like I said, very great albums for those of us that are Big Star fans. Cool. And I came to the party late with Big Star. I didn't know about the band even in the 70s, 80s. But like many people, I kind of discovered them when I heard the Bengals cover September Girls, and I go, wow, this is a great song. And then that kind of led my journey to discover who they were. And then you kept reading with bands like R.E.M. are always talking about them, or, you know, and so you begin to say, hey, who are these guys? So I got their albums, and it's just been joyful ever since for me, just getting real familiar with their music and stuff.
Oh, cool. All right. So I got another big gun here to bring out here. And since I had the 50th anniversary edition, Jibanzo edition of Sgt Pepper, I also got the 50th anniversary super gigantic Jibanzo edition of the Dark Answer to Sgt Pepper by the Rolling Stones, entitled Their Satanic Majesty's Request. And some people call this a ripoff of Sgt Pepper. Some people refer to it as the kind of the dark response. And I'm doing this because it's got the lenticular cover, which hasn't been seen in decades now. And hopefully you can see it moving as we do this here. But some people have called this the dark response to Sgt Pepper. This was a very divisive album, and has been a very divisive album. It has its detractors. It has its lovers. Some people just hate this album tremendously. I've always been kind of more on the fence about it, kind of in the middle on it. I think there's great tracks. I think there's tracks where it derails. I recently did a track-by-track analysis of the album, a separate video you can check out, where I discussed it. And I discussed where I felt the album succeeded and where I felt it derailed. And as I worked on that, I began to get more fascinated with this album. And so I eventually picked up this set. And this contains 2 vinyl records, 2 CDs. There is a mastering of it in mono, which definitely the album sounds better in mono than it does in stereo, in my opinion. And I'd heard about that the album did sound better in mono. The mono master that you're getting on this, I believe, I did some comparisons, and I'm pretty sure it's the exact same mastering that you got with the Rolling Stones in mono set, released in 2016. No different there, but you do get it on vinyl, which has not been available before. You get it on vinyl, and of course you get it on CD. But you also get a brand new stereo remastering of the album, done by the same individual who did the mono remastering as well, for the Rolling Stones in mono set, and his name escapes me. I'm sorry, I don't have time to pause and look it up here. Maybe I should. But at any rate, though, they both sound excellent. The new stereo remastering is a definite improvement over previous remasterings, but I still feel the album sounds better in mono. It does come with a booklet as well, with a historical essay, and it's a beautiful package to open up, but I don't know if we can really open it up here. Kind of opens up 4 ways. This is the actual original interior, but then it opens like this. And we're going to be covered here while you do while you look at this here. But that's, you can see where the CDs are, and then of course there's the booklet, and then the albums are on the side here as well.
Pretty spectacular, really.
It's a pretty cool package.
Yeah.
Some fans, and rightly so, complained that it didn't contain any outtake tracks from the time period, which I wished it had. I think that would have really pushed it over the top. It wasn't as expensive as the Beatles set. But yeah, I agree. I wish it had that. That I think was the one thing missing, was at least one disc of outtakes. And there were apparently some 45 singles that were released around the same time that were during the same sessions. And so, at any rate, though, I've kind of, as time has gone on, after studying the album, I've kind of grown to have a certain fascination for it now, actually, more than I did before doing my in-depth analysis. I thought it would be interesting to study that album. Usually when I do an in-depth, it's on an album that I'm completely, like, it's 100% fantastic. Let's talk about why. But I thought it would be interesting to talk about this album because it was kind of like half and half at times. I've grown more of a fascination for it. I think I'm starting, my appreciative has been growing now lately.
Good.
So anyway, this is here. And it's still available too.
Well, cool.
There you go.
Very cool.
So
the last album I brought in is this is it's not necessarily a reissue. What it is the Raspberries reunited, I want to say in 2004. Yeah, in late 2004, and performed. They hadn't, the 4 founding members had not performed together in more than 30 years, I think. And so they did, I think they did one initial concert, and I think they did a few more. That first concert came out on DVD. And it's just a beautiful package. You can even see like the original backstage pass and and stuff. And it's just, and the CD sounds great. The band was fantastic when they reformed. They just kill it on the songs. They perform like a young, hungry outfit, not like a band getting back together after so many years.
Yeah.
And you know, fans of Cheap Trick and Badfinger and the Beatles will enjoy kind of like the hard-hitting power pop of the Raspberries. But Eric Carmen sounded great here, and it's just a great album. And I unfortunately didn't get to see the band when they did those reunion shows, so I was excited when this came out on CD.
And so this has never been released commercially then?
Not as far as I know. No,
okay.
This as far as I know, and I do have the notes here. This was a 2004 reunion in their native Cleveland when they performed, and so they recorded it obviously back then, but it has just come out, more recently here in 2017. So
very cool.
Just a very nice package. Really,
especially if you're a Raspberries fan.
Yeah, if you're a Raspberries fan. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so those are some reissues that we've experienced that we really enjoyed. Want to recommend. I mean, there were so many reissues in 2017. You can't keep track of all of them. It's just...
Matter of fact, I'm doing a column, and I think I'm at about 11 or 12 so far. I'm trying to hurry up and get it done.
And where can our viewers check out your column?
At musicworthbuying.com.
Excellent, yeah. So check out Robert's column for more reissues. And yeah, you've certainly experienced quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a lot. Yeah, and so many of them have been great. I've even discovered, maybe kind of introduced to some artists I had heard about but wasn't that familiar with them. And it's just been another great year. I love the new album music, but I love the reissues and stuff, like you were discovering the Stones here and stuff.
Yeah.
And even the Beatles in new and exciting ways. It's great.
I think they can, if they're done right, you can rediscover the music that you only thought you knew.
Yeah, and gain even a greater appreciation of your musical heroes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So anyways, what were your favorite reissues for 2017? Let us know in the comments. And as always, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click notifications. That's the little bell icon next to subscribe so you can know when new videos are released. and let's see what happens in 2018.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, ought to be fun. Take care, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.